petit décrassage après hier.
Pareil.
Vous avez fait en 17 hier, donc on va se comme ça.
J'ai mal au dos.
Les masques.
read a letter that is written by Moria White Helmets and Moria Corona Awareness Team in and these two groups are part of a network of groups working inside of the Moria camp to organize during the corona crisis and to organize against the virus. And this letter, it was sent to Europe on April the 16th, 2020. Urgent call from Moria camp for help in corona times. To the European Union, to the governments of European countries, the European public. Moria camp, Lesbos, April 16, 2020. We are addressing you from Moria camp in Lesbos and ask for your help and support. Here in Lesbos, almost 24,000 refugees currently live in highly inhumane conditions, with no services, only several hours of water per day, and under deplorable hygienic conditions. We see that now, after a long time, there is an ongoing discussion in the European public about us, about the circumstances we are living in. We would like to thank for all the solidarity which we got in the last months and days from the European civil society, from all the people who are not willing to abandon us in these times of corona crisis in their countries. We like to thank to all the politicians, communities, towns all over Europe who declared they like to receive refugees like us in their neighborhoods. This gives us hope and confidence that the long and hard way we all have behind us when we were forced to leave our home countries was not in vain. We all came to Europe because we want to live like human beings and because we could not stand the violence, the wars and the persecution we all faced. We were coming because our children deserve a better future where they can live in safety, have access to health services, go to school and have the opportunity to make the most of their lives by using their abilities. Now we are in a double crisis. We are hostages of circumstances we are not responsible for. At first, the general living conditions in the Moria camp, which are really horrible and which are degrading us day by day. But now we face the problem of the pandemic danger, which we cannot stand alone. We began to organize our life in misery. We try to protect our dignity, but we cannot fight against the virus without minimal hygienic standards and possibilities to protect us. Any advice how to avoid the spread of corona even sound illusionary to us. How should we keep distance if thousands have to wait for food every day? How to wash our hands if no water is available? How can sick persons isolate if there is no place for that? In the beginning of the crisis, we felt left abandoned and were totally unprepared. We took some measures to self-organize with the support from some, mainly local Greek NGOs, to raise awareness and prepare for the worst. During the last weeks, we managed a lot of small steps, cleaned the camp, set up some hand-washing stations, printed posters and leaflets, and did other activities. While corona spread in Greece and here in Lesbos, we expected the worst, because the virus in the camp would be like a death sentence for old, sick, and other vulnerable individuals. For the first time, we are able to breathe in a bit of relief, since no new cases were reported on the island for more than 2 weeks. But this does not mean the danger vanishes. On contrary, Moria camp will stay vulnerable for many more months. But for us, the first phase of trying to keep the virus away by all means is over. And now we are trying to prepare for the next period of time. In March, here in Moria, refugees created several groups like the Moria Corona Awareness Team and Moria White Helmets. We worked very closely together with Greek and international NGOs, as well as the local authorities. We also followed the demands and campaigns of the local Greek government for evacuation and called by ourselves to dissolve these camps in Lesbos, Chios, Samos and other islands as soon as possible. But we do see that this will not happen soon. Therefore, we suggest a two-folded strategy for the future. We urge Europe to evacuate the old, sick and vulnerable immediately, because there is no protection for them here. This has to include unaccompanied or sick children with their families. In the meanwhile, many important steps can be taken to help the ones who will remain. The steps to address these issues are water, sewage, toilets, showers and taps, trash, isolation, food supply, food line, hygiene, disinfection, fire protection, security, awareness and education. This can and should be done with the support of the European Union and EU governments, with the understanding that this is not a long-term solution. These camps violate the laws of international human rights and refugee rights. There should be a consensus among the European governments that these camps need to be dissolved as soon as possible, which realistically means after this coronavirus pandemic. We, the refugees of Moria Camp, under the guidance of Moria Corona Awareness Team and Moria White Helmets, offer our support and cooperation to any entity ready to assist in this endeavor on a temporary and provisionary level. This strategy also coincides with the desires of the Greek government, who have long been requesting the EU's assistance in taking in refugees, finding a long-term solution and relieving the pressure on the island and its people. We know how much the Greek citizens on these islands have suffered during the last years, and we also call on Europe to assist them in these difficult times. They also ask since long for a sustainable solution instead of being left alone with the crisis. As we see it, the most plausible solution would be that the governments of the EU make cooperative contracts with the Greek government to provide aid, backing and technical support in order to fix what is fixable while the coronavirus crisis is ongoing. At the same time, it is also important to work towards evacuating as many people as possible. This being of the minors, the elderly and those with health conditions, and then working towards a long-term solution for evacuating the island and closing the camps once the crisis has passed. We welcome very much the first steps taken by the Greek government now to get some of these vulnerable people out of the camps. By addressing the immediate structural needs in Moria camp on a short-term, temporary basis, time will be bought to find a more substantial solution for those currently residing in Moria, paving the way for Moria and other hotspots to be permanently closed. We need help to help ourselves. We are willing to do whatever we can to protect all of us from the ongoing danger of the coronavirus. We are in Europe, and we need Europe to survive. And then signed Moria Corona Awareness Team and Moria White Helmets.
Now a few words from Jahader, who has been living in Shelmos camp for the last 2.5 years.
2.5 years. 2.5 years. 2.5 years. 2.5 years. 2.5 years. 2.5 years. 2.5 years. 2.5 years. 2.5 years. 2.5 years. 2.5 years. 2.5 years. 2.5 years. 2.5 years. 2.5 years. 2.5 years. 2.5 years. 2.5 years. 2.5 years. 2.5 years. 2.5 years. 2.5 years. 2.5 years. 2.5 years. 2.5 years. 2.5 years. 2.5 years. 2.5 years. 2.5 years. 2.5 years. 2.5 years. 2.5 years. 2.5 years. 2.5 years. 2.5 years. 2.5 years. 2.5 years. 2.5 years. 2.5 years. 2.5 years. 2.5 years. 2.5 years. 2.5 years. 2.5 years. 2.5 years. 2.5 years. 2.5 years Thank you. عرض سلام دارم خدمت حضار محترم در این محل. بنده جهاندار نجفی از کمپ خروجی یا همان کمپ بسته شلیسمارک.
Thank you for your coming. My name is Jahan from Shellsmark Close Camp.
امروز ما اینجا هستیم تا بخشی از جنبش بیداری باشیم که امروز در تمام دنیا به پا خواسته.
We are here to be part of the movement that today has risen all over the world, from Minneapolis in USA to Paris, London, Beirut, Iraq and Yemen.
ما اینجا هستیم تا صدای سرکوب شده پناهجویان را به گوش‌های بسته مقامات دانمارکی و سازمان ملل برسانیم.
We are here to echo the oppressed voice of the migrant, refugee, asylum seekers to the ears of Danish officials and United Nations.
ما اینجا هستیم که به شرایط بد و نامناسب کمپ‌ها اعتراض کنیم.
We are here to protest against the bad and dire situation in camps in Denmark.
ما اینجا هستیم که به آن سیاستمدارانی که برای منافع نظام سرمایه‌داری جنگ‌ها را در خاورمیانه راه می‌اندازند و سپس به قربانیان و پناهجویان همان کشورها اجازه عبور از مرز را نمی‌دهند.
We are here to protest those politicians who, for the benefit and interest of capitalism, start war in the Middle East and my country and other countries in like Iraq, Afghanistan, Syria and other countries, yet close their borders and the victims and asylum seekers of those same wars.
ما اینجا هستیم تا اعتراض کنیم به شرایط بلا تکلیف در کمپ‌ها و رسیدگی به کیس‌های پناهجوها.
We are here to protest against Danish and other countries like Turkish and Greek governments' violation of Geneva Convention against asylum seekers.
ما اینجا هستیم تا اعتراض کنیم به نقض کنوانسیون‌های ژنو علیه پناهجویان توسط دولت دانمارک.
And again, I want to repeat, we are here to protest the Danish, Turkish, Greek and other governments' violation of Geneva Conventions against asylum seekers, migrant and refugee in all over the world, especially in Denmark.
این جنبشی است آغاز شده است و متوقف نخواهد شد. ممنون از حضار محترم که تشریف آوردن اینجا.
And in the end, this is movement that has begun and will not stop.
تشکر میکنیم از عزیزانی که امروز اومدن اینجا و صدای ما را شنیدند و به درد دلهای ما گوش میدهند. ممنون عزیزان.
Thank you for your coming and standing with refugees, asylum seekers here. We will continue together.
And before we start marching towards the EU offices, a few words from the Revolutionary Socialista.
Thank you, comrade. Hello, comrades and friends. I'm Panos from Revolutionary Socialista. It is good to see so many of you out in the streets protesting for a third week in a row after the demonstrations of Black Lives Matter. It gives a good message to all these cynics in the right-wing media. They say that workers are greedy individuals who deserve to be ruled by racist governments. Well, the last 3 weeks, they proved them wrong. Workers and youth are ready to defend the rights of the oppressed of this society, the black community, the immigrants, and the refugees. Today, we're here to stand in solidarity with migrants, with the tens of thousands trapped in camps like Ellebæk or Sjælsmark in Denmark, or the horrific camps in Greece, like in famous Moria. It is truly horrific, inhumane conditions refugees are facing. In Moria, 5-year-old children have attempted suicides. 5-year-old children. This horror, this barbarism, is what civilized and humanitarian EU can offer to the people who risk their lives fleeing from wars, misery and hunger. That's the hypocrisy of the EU. They celebrate the fall of the Berlin Wall while now they're raising fences and building camps. The European leaders, oh yes, they present themselves as humanitarian Democrats, but at the same time they make shameful deals and pay billions to Erdogan in Turkey and the terrorist gangs in Libya to keep migrants outside of Europe. They treat human lives as pawns in their imperialist games in Middle East and elsewhere. First they bomb Iraq, Libya and Syria, and now they don't accept the consequences. Capitalism is horror without end. That's what Lenin said. The only things that this rotten system called capitalism can provide is misery, poverty, war and barbarism. The ruling class and their political establishments took the future away from the refugees. And now they say they cannot afford to give them the minimum of a decent life standard. To their hypocrisy, we need to reply. Refugees are welcome, let the bosses pay. In Greece, during March, with the encouragement of the EU, of course, the government and the capitalist media have been throwing their racist poison, calling migrants invaders who seek to destroy the security of the country. Greek government used the army and the police. They fired tear gas and even real bullets. Immigrants were shot dead. That's what capitalism, the civilized West of prosperity, has to offer. Bullets against young foreign workers with their families and kids. And is that what 21st century Europe can provide, my friends? We don't need to look that far to see signs of systemic racism. Here in Denmark, the smykke law, the jewelry law, is a disgrace. It shows the real character of the bourgeois state to protect the property of the rich and to steal from the poor. And even more laws, the ghetto law or the strict green card requirements. And what do the political careerists in the parliament claim? Including the social democrats. They say it is either refugees or welfare state. Well, it's the same welfare state they have been cutting for 1 decade now. The capitalists use racism to divide us. They need to divide us so they can continue to exploit us, to exploit the majority who produces the wealth in this society. To their racism, we reply with solidarity. To their racism, we reply with working class unity. And don't be mistaken, my friends. This is what they will do now with the new economic crisis coming. They will try to divert our attention from the real issues and make workers pay. Poverty, misery and unemployment. That's the best that capitalists can offer to the youth and to the workers. This is already much the case for millions of people in the colonial world, and it will be the situation for millions more, unless we fight back. Today, the wealthy society is produced by the majority, the workers and the youth, but instead, it lies in the pockets of few capitalists. Only by overthrowing the capitalist system and taking control of the riches of the ruling class can we once and for all end poverty, exploitation, racism and oppression. By the workers of the world taking control over the economy to serve the needs of the majority and not the interests of the minority, can we create a world where no one needs to flee? To sum up, comrades, During these 3 weeks, Danish workers and youth have shown their stance. They chose their side in the class struggle. They came out in the streets to support the rights of the oppressed. Revolutionary socialists call for a united struggle of Danish and foreign workers and refugees. Close the camp, no human is illegal. Open the borders for immigrants. Down with Frontex, which only puts human lives in danger. Down with the rotten capitalist system that creates racism and imperialism. For a socialist war revolution, workers of the world unite.
And now to lead the demo, let's welcome the people from the Enthusiasmos camp.
No border, no nation, stop deportation.
Yes, the practical matter, we're going to have the big banner in front and the people from the camps will be leading the march. And we would like everyone to follow the main banner down the street and remember to keep distance and have a good demo.
Yeah.
kolla på det nu. Jag ska göra det nu under dagen. Men yes.
we need the van to stay in the middle. So if some of you can just go in front of the van and take the lead, that would be really lovely. And let's try to keep to the right lane. Thank you.
So close your eyes, that's a lovely way to be. Where all sounds your heart bound to see. The wonderment alone in the sky, forever two can dream. Having together, you can't deny. And brighter rising sea. Saw you first, the time was past tree. When you was up, my never was up. I turned my teeth. But now we know the way the sun is way to be. Just catch the wave, don't be free. Love me. Bye. let me wait to be. I'll send you how long is bound to see. The fundamental loneliness goes forever to can be out together. You can drive it right to nobody moon, the stars above. Don't find me. The fundamental loneliness goes forever to can be out together. When I saw you first, the time was 3:30. When you was with mom, that was I turned to but now we know the way the sun is raising you. Just get away, don't be afraid. Loving me, the fundamental loneliness goes forever to can.